immigrants in this country. Okay? Have you followed at all what happened with this? Here's pretty much to give you a window into this. These raids, okay, were only on illegal immigrants in this country who have been committing additional crimes while in the United States. Right? I want to make sure everybody's clear on that. These raids were on illegal immigrants, who people who are here illegally, okay, but have committed additional crimes while here. Now, here's the problem. When the ICE agents, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, when they go into a raid and raid a particular area, and because they have intelligence that suggests that there's some criminals that are in a certain area that are here illegally and they've been committing additional crimes, you're going to have some other people that are part of that raid that are here illegally that haven't been committing additional crimes. They just happen to be hanging out with the criminals. That happens sometimes. So therefore, some of the 680 that were arrested and deported, some of those 680 are people that have not committed additional crimes while here in the United States. But most of them, the overwhelming majority of them, are people that have. And isn't everybody in agreement that if you're here illegally and you commit additional crimes while here, that you should be deported? Well, that's what this raid did. But I want to make sure that we're clear on this, okay? Most of those caught and deported are felons, but some were merely illegal aliens who just happen to be here with the felons. But what the press has done, what the media has done, is they haven't focused on the overwhelming majority of the illegal immigrants picked up that committed additional crimes. The media has instead cherry-picked those who have not committed additional crimes and are focusing on them with human interest stories about, oh, look at how unfair this is. It's Donald Trump's deportation force coming here to rip families apart. Just regular law-abiding people that are here. Yes, they're here undocumented, but they're law-abiding otherwise, and that's who Donald Trump is going after. That's who he's targeting. That's how they're reporting this in the press. But the actual facts are exactly the opposite. The targeting has been those that committed additional crimes. But here's some other stuff that the press is either A, not telling you, or B, they're burying it in one little line, an obscure line down inside their news stories. This current sweep that just happened, this isn't even a Trump sweep. This was planned during the Obama administration. That's right, it's been in the planning stages for, I think, a good 2 or 3 months while Barack Obama was still president. Donald Trump, now that he's president, just decided to allow the Obama sweep to go ahead and continue. So it is still on Trump because Trump could have blocked it. Trump could have said no. Trump was like, no, let it continue to happen. But the Obama administration is the one who planned this sweep. And this very sweep that was done has been done multiple times by the Obama administration over the course of the last 8 years. Are you hearing these stories from the press? No, you're not. You know what you're hearing instead? You're hearing instead that Donald Trump is starting his deportation force to kick out 11 million illegal immigrants that are here. That's the way this is being reported. It's really a shame. And you have certainly liberal, left-wing Hispanic groups that are pushing this forward, like, for example, the National Immigration Law Center. They said this, quote, "This is a new day. This is the deportation force that he has been threatening since the campaign," end quote. Okay, here's the problem, folks. That's a flat-out dishonest statement. It is not a, quote, new day. This is Barack Obama's planned raid that Donald Trump has just allowed to continue, and this raid is no different than the raids that were done through the course of the last 8 years. That's what I'm talking about when I say this is so dishonest. Now, the Washington Times, which is a more conservative newspaper, they report this. They say, quote, "Homeland Security netted more than 680 immigrants last week in the first major series of raids since President Trump took office. Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly insisted that the raids were standard procedure, and so they focused on those with criminal records, just like agents did under President Obama. Most of the rest were fugitives who were ignoring deportation orders or who had already been deported and managed to sneak back into the United States, which were, by the way, also priorities of deportation under President Obama. Activists, however, reacted with horror, urging boycotts and rallying, saying that a, quote, campaign of terror has descended on Hispanic communities. The raids targeted 5 regions, with the most arrests in the Midwest. Of the 235 arrests in the Midwest, 163 had criminal records, 12 were violating deportation orders, 60 had been deported at least once before and came back in. This is according to U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement. The president issued executive orders last month to overhaul enforcement. Now, here's what Donald Trump did. He modified Obama's enforcement. What President Obama was doing was saying, you know, let's go after the criminals that are here illegally, but let's not go after all criminals. Let's go after just a very, very narrow group of the worst criminals only, and let the rest of the criminals go. President Trump has said, no, we're going to broaden that to go after anybody who's committing crimes that's here illegally. But he's not targeting people that aren't committing additional crimes but happen to be here illegally. He's targeting people that have committed crimes and are here illegally. But you're going to get caught up in that. Some people who haven't committed additional crimes that are going to be swept up in these raids. That's going to happen. You can't eliminate that, folks. But anyway, the unfortunate thing is how the Democrats and the media is playing this. Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader, says, quote, he accused the Trump administration of, quote, targeting law-abiding innocent immigrant families whose only wrongdoing was crossing the border to give their children a better life. And you look at the ABC News report and others on this, and I'm telling you, folks, that they're creating a picture, a perception that Donald Trump has put together this deportation force now that's going out there busting into homes of people that are here illegally, not people that have committed crimes, additional crimes, but just people that are just living in peace after coming here illegally, and that those are the people the Trump administration is now ripping out of homes and deporting. That's how this is being reported in the press. And it's flat out not true, if that even matters. Now, again, I want to stress, okay, you're going to, if you go in, if you do sweeping raids, if there's a group or a community or a home that has people in it that are committing additional crimes and are here illegally, when you sweep them up, you're going to inadvertently end up sweeping up some people that are there or in the vicinity also that haven't committed additional crimes. Well, you can't say to them, well, okay, well, then you can just go free. No, if they're part of the sweep, they're part of the sweep. But they're the minority of people, and they're the only ones that the press is focusing on. What they're not focusing on are the others who, by the way, are you aware of the fact that the other people that have been primarily targeted here involve, of those 680 people, many of them are murderers, they're rapists, child sex offenders, drug traffickers. Did you know that? Is the press talking about that? No, they're talking about the mom and her children who didn't commit any additional crimes and got caught up in the sweep. The minority of them. That's where the media is focusing. That's the dishonesty I'm talking about here. And it's just dividing this country and producing more tension in this nation as well. Now, you're listening to The Bob Duco Show.